Okay, now that we've talked about volume support for a bullish continuation bar, um, we'll get into bearish volume support for bearish continuations later. But continuations, bearish continuations, they require the exact same type of volume support as a bullish continuation bar. It's just going the other way, just going down instead of up. But now we're going to talk about the other type of reversal bar we were talking about in earlier sections, which is the bear thrust bar or the thrusting bar. And when we look, I've got numbers by all of the thrusting bars here, and I've got 6 of them numbered on the chart here, and these were the actually from where we are now here, these were the last 6 thrusting bars that occurred. Now look at all 6 of these. Is that a good signal or what? Each time you see that thrusting bar, we had a reversal. I'm sorry, don't count this. Just look at the numbers. Each time you see a thrusting bar, that means the momentum of thrust has shifted to the opposite direction. So, but what is it about volume? What do we need to see on a thrust bar, a bear thrust bar, that supports what we see on the visual, that supports the bar? And what we want to see is higher volume. When you see a thrusting bar, we, for the most part, and it all depends on where the operators are located, but for right now, just for the basics, for the most part, we want to see higher volume on a thrust bar, and that will signal that the market should continue down. But now, where should it continue down to? Well, the last broken support, or the last broken resistance, I'm sorry, but once we break it, it comes coming back down. It's now support. This was our last high that we broke out from, so this is our last breakout. And once we see a thrusting bar and we want to look at where should this momentum take us, we always want to look to the next support resistance level below, and in this case it will be here. And but we could also consider it here also, because once we came back down here, we made another high here, we made another low here, and we came back up. But this is a minor resistance or a support level here. What we want to focus on is the major support level on the way down. And notice how we didn't get down here, didn't make it down there. So when price comes back down, if it doesn't test support that used to be resistance, if it doesn't test it on the way down, on the way back up, you can pretty much most of the time look for it not to close above the most recent high, because we need to test here to get the sufficient bounce to generate the momentum to take us up to close above here. But now here is another one, another thrusting bar. The tail was only 1 pip higher than the previous bar's high, but yet and still it's a thrusting bar. Okay, and we talked about what a thrust bar is in earlier sections. And the reason why you need to know these things is because, for instance, at the bar number 2 here, this was a thrusting bar on high volume, but when we look at the bar, where did it make it to? This bar thrusted and hit support right here. This is our range of support, because this is the support bar, and the high of the support bar is here, and the open of the support bar is here, which means that it is a footstep. And from the laws of charts and men, You should know what a footstep is by now. And so we thrusted and came down to touch support. Okay, so now we don't want to necessarily trade that thrust because it already hit support. So now we have to wait and see what it does after support. I just wanted to make that clear, and not just with thrust bars, but with any type of movement. If it stops, if it makes it all the way to the destination, which is support, then we have to reassess. We need to see a breakout before we can continue with a short and enter a short trade here. So now let's look at bar number 3, because bar number 3 was the bar in our sequence here that had lower volume. And as we said, we want this thrust bar to have higher volume. So should we have traded this thrust bar or should we have not? Well, once again, the first thing we ask ourselves, where is support and resistance? Okay, this high here, this prior high, this is the current resistance level where we had the thrusting bar. Now see, where the thrust bar occurs